Welcome, everybody. My name's Garrett Browne, and this is Demo Days. I hope everybody's had a great week so far. As you know, some of you who are joining, you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube. It is live for now. If you're watching after the fact, you can still leave comments in there, and Royi here will definitely be able to look. But just know that as we are going through the next hour, this is for about 45 minutes to an hour. We will be able to take questions and see comments, and Royi here will be able to answer those. So in just a minute, we'll get started. But I wanted to introduce Royi Barnea. Sir, how are you doing?
I am well. Thanks for asking, Garrett. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here today.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know you're a very busy guy, especially uh, a VP of channel sales. That is not something that you hear very many crickets. You're busy, So you're
I believe we all are, but yeah, we are. It's an exciting time for us, so we're super busy, but more than happy to be here. And thank you for hosting me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. And you are with Cynomi. Tell us more about it. I'd love to hear about it. I'm sure our viewers would as well.
Sure. So my name is Royi. I'm the VP Channel Sales in Cynomi. Cynomi is a 4-year-old cybersecurity company established from Israel. We are a vCISO platform, virtual CISO, one of the rising trends today. We're the first ever AI-driven platform, and we position ourselves as a true vCISO, which basically today provides the ability for partners. We are 1% channel. We'll talk about that as in the demo and slides. A platform that they can deliver virtual CISO services at scale. We streamline and automate those processes for them.
That's cool. Yeah, man. CISO services are good. There's a lot to do in that particular area. I know firsthand how it is, and I'm interested in the AI aspect because things are evolving very, very fast, especially on the information security side, because you have a lot of governments and now they're coming out with laws, and there's teeth to it now. Then you have the AI side that is just able to automate a week into an hour. So very interested in this. I think well, so what I will do is and of course, if for those of you who join us, feel free to leave a comment on LinkedIn, YouTube. We will see it, and we'll see if Royi can answer those. But Royi, would you like to go ahead and present your screen, and I'll go ahead and pull it up?
Sure, would love to. Thank you so much. And let me know if you can see my screen over here.
I can.
Yes.
There you go.
Great. So I'll start. Again, thank you for having me. My name is Royi, and basically what I'm here to present and talk about, we talked about VC, so I'd like to start first and foremost what we're seeing in the market of the 1% channel. What exactly is the need today, the challenge, the pain points that we're seeing today? So of course, most of our audience over here, channel partners, they are serving multiple clients, multiple verticals. And the main 4 topics that we're seeing as challenges in the market are really across the board to most of them. Cyber attacks. So you'll hear it from any vendors. There's no news over here, especially if you're serving small mid accounts, that cyber attacks are becoming more sophisticated, rising. Basically, the small media accounts are easier prey for the bad guys. And since they're going and increasing all the time, it's something we still need to address. That's our industry. It's a never-ending story, cat and a mouse chase. But compliance is becoming more tighter, and we'll talk as we move forward in a demo about CMMC that is literally around the corner. We're going to do some waves and changes in the market, but not only CMMC, compliance is becoming more complex today. We see that clients are adopting, some of them, multiple frameworks, and it becomes more complex to maintain or adhere to. Compliance is becoming a topic, and there's a huge need from clients, and today are reaching out to their service providers for assistance. But most important, we're seeing even a change or a trend in the market that MSPs and MSSPs today, in order to create any type of standardization, now today they're applying even general frameworks as a best practice security-wise for their client. The popular one are NIST or CIS, but there's more, and we're seeing that as a rising trend as well. Of course, third-party risks. There's basically something that everyone here is familiar with. Most of the clients here serving today have any type of source of third-party contracts, access, connection to environment, or anything of that nature. And basically, that's sort of a backdoor that we need to address as well. And lastly, cyber insurance. Cyber
Mhm.
insurance is something that is a hot topic in the last 2 years. I'm seeing a change even. Instead of a solution or a service that solution providers are reaching to offer their clients, we're seeing clients reaching their solution providers asking assistance for cyber insurance. So basically, there's a huge demand here, and that's exactly what Cynomi is here to offer. And I want to share something that I'm seeing in the market. I'm talking a lot with solution providers throughout the years that I'm here. And most of them that today I'm hearing interested about asking vCISO, I'm asking them, okay, so why didn't you offer that a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years ago? Because you saw already it's a trend. And the main basically challenges or struggles that I hear solution providers, small, mid, and even large, first and foremost is the lack of the know-how, the knowledge. There was an assumption in the market that you need to be a full-blown CISO in order to deliver virtual CISO services for your clients. And this is one of the things that you're going to hear today. With Cynomi, not at all. You do not need to be a full-blown vCISO to deliver virtual CISO services. You mentioned our AI automation. I'll show that in the demo exactly how we cover that end to end. All the knowledge know-how is there for you. Okay. Now let's talk about basically labor intensive. That is something that old school manual spreadsheets was the main tradition, and now we're seeing that there's many tools out there because it doesn't scale and it requires a lot of labor intention, which creates, I would say, not affordable, not efficient, or basically a challenge financial to deliver those services. A lot of time consuming in other tools or manual spreadsheets. And lastly, of course, no standardization. We talked about that. So it's a little bit complex, and here's exactly how we offer that. Oh, sorry for that today. The solution, and it's not only Cynomi, basically scale cybersecurity with streamlined processes. And those are the tools that are out there, and we'll talk about Cynomi as well. Before I move forward, is there any questions?
No, 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 not at all. Very interested, because this, I mean, this still is a manual, labor intensive thing for a lot of people out there. And very, very interested to see what you guys are doing.
Awesome. So let's talk about the how exactly, and we'll see how basically we can automate at least 60, 70%. Yes, there's no 100% over here. There is like any other solutions and tool. Basically, there are things that require some manual, but we'll show how Cynomi really minimize that to the minimum there is, and with a lot of automation with our AI. So basically, we're here to understand that the offering, scaling cybersecurity and challenges are very simple. And this is our mission even. We created the first ever AI-driven vCISO platform that really helps service providers to deliver those services at scale, to streamline and automate that. And the uniqueness of the platform is automatically generating policies, generating the relevant profile for a client, and I'll touch base that in depth in our platform. How, with a live demo that I'm moving forward now, we do that with something very special, which we call our onboarding questionnaires, basically 16 to 19 questions that, according to those answers, will generate the relevant profile for each and every client. So if that's okay with you, Garrett, I'd love to jump into a live demo of the platform.
Let's do it.
Awesome. So I hope you can see my screen over here.
Yeah, I can see it. Looks good.
So I mentioned that we're 4 years on the road, Israeli cybersecurity company. Just to connect the dots and a nice story about it, our co-founder and CEO, David Primor, served 26 years in the IDF as a lieutenant colonel in the 8200 Cyber Intelligence Unit, which I believe most of the audience over here is very familiar with Israel's reputation as a cybersecurity nation. There's great cybersecurity startups and the companies out of that nation. And we, as a 1% channel, are presenting over here our fully multi-tenancy platform with a true separation down to the data. And something nice that we did is enable from day one a platform to be fully co-branded. Instead of our logo, the solution provider can add their logos, and for each of the subtenants over here, they can even add, and we'll see that in the demo environment, the end client's logo. Why? We want to enable our partners in the click of a button to deliver co-branded report. Can be a compliance report or risk mitigation plan report, scanning reports, task reports, and many more, and we'll see them as we move forward. So what exactly, for the techie audience over here, what are we seeing in the platform? On the left-hand side, are the clients, basically what we call subtenants. Those are the accounts that you're managing, all the accounts by their name. This is, of course, a dirty demo environment that we're seeing. Next to that is which type of activity are we performing? The majority of the clients will be all year ongoing services. And we'll talk about how vCISO services is not only a profitable solution today, but the delivery is not only increasing your end clients' cybersecurity posture and getting them ready for any cyber insurance or audit for a framework, but it is a huge opportunity for many upsells of your services and solutions that you're offering today, and we'll touch base on that as well. We even help you with generating the relevant plans and break it down to 4 vectors of attack. So ongoing services is most of your clients, but there's many cases that we started engagement with the prospecting or demo purposes as well. When we'll touch base about our licensing and some of our differentiators on licensing and pricing, we'll talk about that in depth as well. To make the life easy for the solution provider, we basically did a very high level posture score between 0 to 10. We'll talk about the 3 parameters defining it and how it works. But before we get into it, when you're looking at your multi-tenancy view, I personally like to call this column the TLC, tender love and care, Garrett. In red, who needs more love and attention, yellow, medium, and green, of course, more healthy. But if there's some of the audience over here that are used to other tools or manual spreadsheets, we talked about that earlier, the most important logic in Cynomi is this, the open task. It is very simple. Everything in Cynomi starts and ends with a task. And I'll explain. If there is a cybersecurity gap detected by assessments, questionnaires, and scanning we provide, and many more, Cynomi will generate a task with a full walkthrough and guidance, step-by-step, what you need to do to close the cybersecurity gap. There is a compliance or controls the end client needs to adhere to. We will automatically generate the task with a full walkthrough and guidance, so all the knowledge, the know-how is there for you. Very simple, following the task. The date we created the environment and industry is pretty straightforward to understand, and there's a reason for the industry, which I'll touch base on that as well. So we made a very easy, user-friendly platform, very colorful, because we understood that there's many cases the partner wants the end client to be as part of the engagement, and of course it's flexible, whatever they choose to do so. And sometimes we need reports or high level of the bottom line for the executives, especially small mid accounts executives. They're not techie savvy. I see many solution providers that are basically doing a mistake. They're sending reports from risk assessment, penetration testing, or many other activities, and showing how professional they are, using many buzzwords and acronyms in the industry. Garrett, that is a mistake. It is basically shooting blanks or talking Chinese to their clients. Executives for small mid accounts or high level, they want the bottom line, the score. Basically, what's my gaps? What's my risk? What do I need to do? That's it. Color graph scores, super simple. And you'll see that across the board in Cynomi's platform. So let's drill into what we're seeing on the dashboard. We started on the left-hand side with the logo, and comes a posture score. And Garrett, this is something nice. And if you'll ask me, our biggest differentiator, this is here. We are the only platform out there that are looking at your end client's cybersecurity gaps and compliance gaps. Most of the tools out there are amazing, great tools. They're focused on the GRC aspect, basically the compliance and control. We believe that a client, if he's complied, it does not necessarily mean that he's secured, and vice versa. And we literally look at 2 sides of the coin. So the posture score is defined by the following 3 parameters, Garrett. 1, where does this client stand comparing to cybersecurity gap? 2, where do they stand comparing to the frameworks they need to adhere to? And three, earlier I showed the industry. We do a benchmark comparison. We take this industry size of this account, compare them to similar in that vertical. And we define a posture score that is between 0 to 10, and it's dynamic. And dynamic means when the partner advanced fulfills more tasks, the posture score can go up, or God forbid, in some cases, if you neglect it, it can even go down.
Just the that dynamic aspect. Say like I can say I have open task, right? Um, and it's just updating the antivirus solution on the servers. Say I updated this morning. How long does that reflect on that dynamic posture score?
In milliseconds, immediately, at the same time that basically the partner indicates that basically that task is fulfilled. And when we'll get to the task, we'll show you that for each task freehand, we're going to show you exactly percentage wise how much it will improve that posture score.
That's
And
cool.
not only that, great question by the way, we don't stop there. One of the things that partners are really struggling is
Yeah,
showing values to the end client of their services, of their solutions. There's many reports we help the partners do so. One of them is basically the trend chart, or as you can call it, progress over time. The partner can look at as many records they want on a page, customize any date for a report. I'll take a year, for example, and basically showing one by one all the actions they performed in order to get the client from point A to point B and exactly the values they presented. And it generates a nice report as well. Of course, this is on purpose, a demo environment. We take it up and down. In reality, you'll see that our partners are having a more rising up curve that shows the trend of progress.
that's interesting. I that would definitely come in handy because that would always happen with us. Where sometimes the client's like, "Hey, man, what are you doing for us? It's so
Yeah,
quiet." I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, we're still doing a lot." So this would definitely come in handy. I
Yeah.
like that.
What am I paying you for? What's the outcome? Yeah, and it really goes. We can even get to other reports. We can get into the beats and the weeds and down, or even high level. So you'll see that our reports usually are basically divided into two: high level of executive, and underneath that, all the techie, the details one by one. The compliance is very important. As we move forward, I'll focus on the left-hand side on a full dedicated section of it. But before, on the main dashboard, if you chose multiple frameworks, we'll show you at each point of time the percentage coverage of each of the relevant frameworks we chose for the client.
Uh,
Now, one of the nice things with Cynomi is that we combine not only questionnaires and assessments answers, we combine real data of scanning, and we offer multiple scannings. For example, you'll see that we offer 6 options of scanning: 3 internal, 3 external. 2 of them are developed and built in by us, and others are the ability to integrate and upload from third parties. For example, the external scan. Basically, looking at everything web facing, of course, both negative and positive. You can set external IPs of your end client's environment, URLs such as email gateways, firewalls, proxies, what have you, S3 buckets or a website, and basically look at the attacker view, the surface, everything web facing. We provide and basically an internal scan as well.
yeah,
And something super nice, we develop it in-house, and it's 2 PowerShell scripts that you do run on the end client environment. Of course, admin rights are required to run it, but you do not need to install an agent on each of the client's devices. Just run 2 PowerShell scripts, and you can run it even from a centralized console, ARM MPSA tool, Active Directory, the AD, or even one by one, looking at network configuration, firewall configuration, Active Directory, host, servers, laptop, OSS patches, and many more. Many partners are using, or small mid accounts, a Microsoft Secure Score. So you can easily integrate and upload that, which I believe you know very well, Garrett. It collects data from the Defender, the Azure AD, E3 to E5 packages, and many more. Very popular in small mid accounts and very valuable on the findings of the scans. And of course, Tenable, Nessus, Qualys, or Cavello, you can easily, if you or one of your clients are using it, drag and drop it over here. And from the findings, we'll generate the task. We'll cross-map them if they're related to any control relevant for this specific client. And since everyone likes color graphs and scores, we'll set them up in order and severity. Of course, pretty straightforward, Garrett. Critical, high, red, high, orange, medium, and so on and so forth. Now, if you remember, the first thing that I mentioned as our biggest differentiator, I said it twice repeatedly, that we're looking at the cybersecurity and the compliance, not only the GRC aspect. You'll see across the board in our platform our focus on 4 vectors of attack.
Yeah.
Readiness of the end client for data leakage, for fraud, for ransomware, and website defacement. In a second, I'll explain about it here on the spider web, but of course, the most important on the risk mitigation plan we create for each of our partners' client, covering all those 4 vectors of attack. And that's a big thing as well.
Oh, that's a real big deal. I like that.
Thank you. Now, this looks very nice, cool, the spider web. Let me explain exactly what it is. We talked about our AI or how smart. There's some aspects of AI in the platform. One of them is here. Basically, this is reflecting for the partner. What is the plan? Where the client stands in this point of time, and where does he need to reach on each security domain? How exactly do we do so? 16 to 19 questions, which I'm going to show you, Garrett, in a second exactly how it is. And according to your answers, we will generate the relevant frameworks, domains, assessments, and questionnaires that are relevant and tailor-made for this client. Now, this is very important and a huge differentiator. So I will take a minute for the audience over there to give a simple example and then take it to the next level where we really shine, Cynomi. So most of the audience here, I assume, are familiar with a framework called NIST. Very known, very traditional framework, very good at cybersecurity posture. If I'm not mistaken, NIST has around 42 different questions that are related to software development. And if now you're using any other tool or manual spreadsheets, we talked about that, and you want to follow NIST for your client, but he doesn't have a software development, you'll have 42 questions that you need 4 times to each question to copy paste, basically, not applicable, and the reason why, on the evidence column, not applicable, the reason why, short mass, 4 times multiple 42, 168 time copy pasting. That will hurt your fingers, Garrett. And Cynomi is here to protect your fingers. Garrett has beautiful fingers, everyone.
Yeah.
So how do we basically prevent that? When you mention that on the onboarding questionnaire, not only that will not influence the posture score at all, will not generate unnecessarily tasks, we will basically even prevent that not applicable reason why. Now, that's a very simple example, Garrett. Where do we shine? Where is the AI commonplace? What happens if now you want to follow NIST for your client, but maybe PCI and HIPAA? Or CMMC is now coming. It's going to be very popular as well in the States. 2, 3, 4 different frameworks, automatically cross-reference and cross-mapping between multiple frameworks and multiple controls, automatically cross-reference and automatically attach the evidence to the relevant multiple frameworks and control. And not only that, if you're not really a CISO, other basically tools or manual spreadsheets, if you have a client, for example, that is under HIPAA, PCI manufacturing, there'll be different questions and tasks if the client is now on-prem, cloud, hybrid, SaaS. All that is fully automated with Cynomi and reflected over here, very simple. Look at this, in 2 lines. The gray line will indicate the target posture score for this specific client in this specific security domain. We can see here for AD target posture score of 9. And the blue line indicates where they stand today, 6.7. And by the way, when we talked about executives that are not techie savvy, this is zoomed in and large in our report. So when they see the gaps, the visibility, your end clients executives understand color graph scores of visibility. They don't need the techie details. Of course, you can now focus where you're under target. And as mentioned earlier, the biggest differentiator on the plan we create to get your clients ready for data leakage, fraud, ransomware, and website defacement.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, you clicked on under target. Does that mean where?
Only the ones that are under target, yep, that I need to work on. Sort of like open tasks.
Gotcha. All right. Gotcha.
Where this client is under the target that he needs for each security domain, meaning there's work that I need to focus on.
I keep seeing device. I think it's device protection 0, and that's stressed me out just looking at that. Is it? Wait.
Don't be stressed. It's not a real reality. It's a demo environment one, but yeah.
Service provider, not device. Okay. I was like, why would they have the device? Okay. All right.
I promise on the next demo we'll play with that, but it's a demo environment, so don't worry. Of course, there will be tasks that are recurring or repeating, upcoming or critical. The top 5 of them will be presented here. And once we finish all assessments and scan, we'll summarize on the dashboard the amount of tasks, their severity, and percentage coverage of each and every time. So let's dig into the data and show you exactly if I'm now a solution provider and I need to onboard a new client, what is that onboarding questionnaire? What exactly do we need to do for a new client?
Mm-hmm.
First, let's ask which industries they are. That benchmark comparison we talked about. We choose the industry. We'll choose the size, how many computer users the client has. Of course, who manages their IT infrastructure, security. I want you to take a look about our licensing. And this is another something that is unique about us. We have a single license, meaning all frameworks are inclusive. We do not charge per framework per client. So our partners can choose as many as they want for their clients that are relevant. We have the CIS, those NIST. We have the ISO, both 1322 versions, SOC 2 Type 2, FFIC, New York DFS, CMMC, of course, hot topic. We know that as well. HIPAA, CCPA. Europe, we have 3, GDPR, NIS 2, and you'll see DORA in a second, PCI, Cyber Essentials, FTC Safeguard, SEC, and many more. And we're adding more and more on the roadmap, upcoming very, very soon, more frameworks as well, HITRUST, GLBA, FINRA, and many more. We're adding a lot. And one of the nice things about it, 45% of our roadmap is defined by our partners. Our partners have access to a dedicated product portal and a wish list section where they can basically give us their wish list or things that they want. And when they do so, other partners see it and vote and prioritize upcoming roadmap and features. And we're very fast on development. Moving forward, we'll ask you about basically their on-prem, their IT, their infrastructure, AD or Azure AD, questions about hosting and co-location hosting, really learning about the environment of the end client. Of course, cloud is a big thing, and which cloud platforms are you utilizing for the client today? OT, very strong in manufacturing, health, but not only. Remote access and usage of data after the pandemic, we are in a new reality. Of course, SaaS applications that they're using, Gen AI, we talked about it. We have a very deep and advanced even questionnaire and assessment. It's a hot topic today and has that security vulnerabilities related to as well, which we need to address. I already gave the example about software development earlier, taking care of Garrett's fingers. And of course, the website, are you utilizing acceptance of card payment? But we even, although we have now, we're done and have the profile, enabled our partners to double check and verify, even if those exist, the following security domains. Why? Because our partners are selling solutions or services around them. And the main purpose is to help our partners easy upsells of additional services and solutions they present. And when I click submit, what happens? In a second, Cynomi has all the relevant questionnaires and assessments for the end client. Of course, you'll see here certified because we chose a framework of the dirty environment, demo-wise, but basically very simple. And the relevant questionnaires are here for the client.
Yeah, I like this. I like this a lot because, it's not just about, hey, we're going to do all this for you, but it's about, what's the scope? What are the areas that I need to be fully aware of? And I like this. This is a nice, very well laid out way to engage and do this and not forget, oops, I forgot about that area, So this is cool. I like it. It makes me feel good when I look at this, like, okay, you're making my job easy. I'm not just saying that. Yeah, it'd be nice just click a button and go.
Very easy, very user-friendly to up and running and operate the platform, to be very transparent. I'm technical oriented a little bit, but this is the easiest platform that I operated. I in the past worked with other tools and I operated each and every one of them, but this really is the easiest. And when basically now we go over to a questionnaire assessment, we fulfill it. I won't get into the details in respect for time, very simple. After scans and questionnaires, all the tasks are generated and they're centralized here in a single dashboard. Each task has its name, the policy it's related to, different type of statuses, and I will get back to this in a second because there's a nice thing Cynomi enables by privileges rights of users that are related to moving between statuses. I'll explain in a second. Of course, we'll set them by severity, but there may be cases that the solution provider chooses that for this specific client, it doesn't need to be critical. It needs to be high, medium, or low. He can easily do so. Another thing about our licensing is unlimited users, internally and externally. So if the partner now decides there's many types of engagement, I can do it for you, my Mr. Client, I can do it with you, Mr. Client, together,
Hmm.
or you can do it yourself and I'll oversee different options that partners can bundle or add more premiums or sell different packages or solutions. But basically, they can assign a task to any user internally or externally. I'll
Yeah.
assign now to Garrett a task and I'll even tell him, Garrett, I need you to fulfill that by October 15th. And maybe Garrett, as a client now, doesn't have budgets for everything. And some things are in a higher priority, some less. And Garrett, as an organization, has his own goals and targets. I'll set up with him my short, mid, and long term plan. And I can set up the dates and even assign who's in charge of each plan, really have a full plan with the end client to get him from point A to point B. And as mentioned earlier, if you remember, when you'll fulfill the tasks, this is how much percentage-wise you'll improve the overall posture score. And if you attach an evidence or document, you'll have a green check marks over here. So I'm going to drill into the task in a second. I talked about the privileges of users. Let me get to that and show you exactly what we offer, which is a big and very important value in our licensing for partners. They're unlimited, the users. And we enable 5 options of privileges rights, which the first 2 are admins. Of course, our partners will be, first and foremost, the first admin service provider, meaning they manage the entire multi-tenancy, full
Yeah.
admin rights of the platform. But we can set even a company admin just for that specific account, that specific client's environment, some of the techies. But if sometimes we want the engagement of the end client, maybe to answer questionnaires or even assign them tasks they need to do, or just view the platform, we can set them as an editor, viewer, and assessor. For example, editor can answer assessments, questionnaires, run scans, fulfill an assigned task, and even write notes. Assessor can only answer the questionnaires and assessment. He writes is pretty straightforward. And by the way, one of the nice things that my partner's super creative here, they even, although it's free from our end, charge another premium to the end clients for a view user to be provided to the cyber insurance company or the audit company. And they can access Cynomi to look at the evidence you collected, the posture scores, the findings, the SOPs, the policies, the risk mitigation plan, the whole works, which is, of course, free from our end, unlimited.
So, question. First thing comes to mind. I'm looking at this. As I'm laying out, timelines, budgets, workloads, because workload is important. Um, can I see this from, because when you said plan, short term, medium term, long term, can I see this like in a calendar view, like quarter, like, hey,
Oh my God, amazing. Yes, you can see it in any view, and I'll show you that. But not only that, I have many partners that started with a vCISO need from our end, and
mm-hmm,
Cynomi became the main tool today they're operating, along with their RMM PSA tool, as really managing tasks and activities for their end client, end to end. So that's awesome. And I'll show you more granular, even filtering capabilities, and we'll touch base on that in a second.
okay. All right, cool. All right. I like it. And just real quick, just for everybody joining us on LinkedIn and YouTube, feel free to leave a comment. Your comment, I will see them. If you have a question for Royi here, or just you just want to say hi, go for it. But we will see it, and I will put it up there. If you are watching this after the fact, being live, still drop a comment, and if you want him to get in touch with you, I'm sure you could tag him on that, and he could do that. But sir, go ahead.
We'll be more than happy to. Let me show you something super cool, Garrett. Basically, each task has a name, policy it's related to, different type of statuses. And what we made very nice, that if you're the admin, the 2 options of admin, you can move the task to done, deferred, not applicable. The end client, if you choose to do so, can move the stat to not start in progress review. And then you, our partners, as the cybersecurity experts, you'll check it, gives a thumbs up or thumbs down if you need to attach any evidence, and you're good to go. Now, you remember we talked earlier about reports that shows value? One of
Yes.
the things that I personally like is that Cynomi on the green ones that are good to go, divided between done and fulfilled. Why? A great way to show value. What's the difference Fulfilled means this already exists, meaning only maybe a scan indicating existence, or even you answered yes on a questionnaire. Awesome,
Hmm.
it's great. Maybe you need to attach an evidence or document, you're good to go. Done means that you moved it from a different stage. And my partners today are filtering every month a report of the duns and sending the end client, hey, Mr. Client, when you engage with me, you were, just an example, 17% ready for HIPAA, and you had a posture score 2.1. Now you're 83% ready and posture score 7.4. Mr. Client, this is one by one. All the actions I perform to get you from point A to point B. And that is an awesome way to show value. But I want to show you something super cool over here that really differentiate us. You talk about filtering, you can
Yeah.
filter whatever you want by due date, by scores, by even a framework, controls, and a status, everything you want. I'll, for example, focus on the open task only, not the green ones. But not only that, for this account, I want to follow three different frameworks. I want to see the cross mapping. I
Hmm.
want to see NIST 2.0. I want to see PCI. I want to see HIPAA. I want to see SOC 2, no matter what. I can easily see that for each task, if it's related to multiple frameworks and multiple controls.
I like this. It's funny. You were just showing the first filter, and I was in my head because it's something I've seen often. I wanted to know if you could see if they're repeating um, about it, because that's like, hey, yeah, we're good. But then next morning you're like, what was happening? So that usually can help you troubleshoot. Maybe there's something else going on. So that I love that there was a repeating filter on there, because
There
those are
is.
the ones that you think are
We're
fun.
talking about repeating tasks and how you said it, very simple. Yes. But let me ask you something else over here. You see that I chose specific four frameworks, but
Yeah.
still I have some rows that are blank.
Hmm.
That's our biggest differentiator. You know why? Because they're not related to compliance controls. Those are cybersecurity gaps, not a framework related control. So we really show our partners the difference between a cyber related or a compliance related. And that's a huge differentiator. Now I want to show you how we make it very simple for each and every one. I'll filter this. So basically we'll have that. Sorry for that. We'll have that clean over here in our eyes. And when we click on a task, we'll see that each task has a name and a description. And look at this, very simple in English, a step-by-step walkthrough and guidance, exactly what you need to do in
Hmm.
order to fulfill a task. And we always add tiny tips as well that can help. Now, you ask us about basically the task and recurring. First of
Yeah.
all, we'll show you the dependency, if it's people, processes, technology, etc. And maybe you need this task to be every 3 months, every quarter. This month, starting from tomorrow, needs to be a repeated task. Maybe, I don't know, awareness training, okay, or cybersecurity programs. They need to sign every quarter about it. So you can put that recurring task as well, and it will repeat on the time frame you decide. But
So
Garrett, yes, please.
so I'm looking at this. One of the first things I want to do. Maybe I'm not going to always have my team in here for whatever. Maybe they're in my PSA. Maybe they're in the help desk or Jira, or whatever. Do you integrate with anything like that? So we can push. Is it one way? If you can, one way, two way syncs, or how does that? What does that look like?
We're now exactly as we speak working on our roadmap to connect with our main PSA vendors, the top 6, 7 ones in the industry today, which everyone is familiar with, and
Mhm.
even enabling alerts and notifications by email, Jira, and other more. And it's literally around the corner. It's not a long time of development or promises that there is really around the corner. Today, there's other ways that partners overcome that, basically walks through. But yeah, we're heading that direction.
I like that. Yeah, because we have the engineering team. I might want to show them the VON scans for the internal, the X. It's different ones. Okay, well, I'll definitely be on the lookout for that. That'll be a very interesting way to work with that.
I have a question for you, Garrett. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with SOPs, standard operational procedures?
Um,
Basically,
yeah.
those are standards how to work processes or how to work that you can set for each task. And
Hmm.
Cynomi is the only platform that, as you can see, for every single task has two types of SOPs, and the first one is our uniqueness. You can set for this specific task one time a general SOP, standard operational procedure, and look very closely. It from now moving forward will be displayed and duplicated to all that multi-tenancy sub-accounts, all your clients, even clients you're creating in the future. It's sort of like creating a playbook for ransomware on an EDR, XDR vendor, an endpoint solution, and now deploying it in a click of a button across the board to all your clients, exactly like that. One time for all saves you tons of time. And if there will be a case that just for the specific company, I need a one-off or different SOP, by clicking the hyperlink below, it will automatically overrule the general SOP I set in place. Now, the reason for that, automate the process and save you a lot of time. But where do we really save a lot of time? Here. This task is related to multiple frameworks and multiple controls. You do not need to do it multiple times. And the same, Garrett, when you'll attach an evidence, add the validation date, any comments you want, and just drag and drop or attach any type of evidence, hyperlink, even a shared drive as well that you want, or folder, and attach the relevant documentation or evidence. And when you click save, it will be saved to all the relevant fully cross-map evidence you collected.
That is nice. I like that because, so hey, we're going to do that, but it's really good to see, what it's touching on. So I like that.
Thank you. Now, we're here to help our partners make money. And one of the things we did is provided you the estimated effort required for each task.
Yeah.
But we made it editable. So, or one, you can basically assign a task to your end clients, and you're familiar with the client. He's not techie savvy, he's slow. Assign 5 hours, not 3 for them. That's a nice to have. But where it's really used by my partners today is what I like to call for getting money on the table. The majority of the tasks the partners are fulfilling on behalf of their clients, those are billable hours. So to all my partners, I say, tell your techie guys, do not forget to write down the hours, summarize them at the end of the month for each subtenant, and don't leave money on the table. Charge your clients accordingly.
Yeah.
Now, the beauty thing about it, that everything works together and aligns. So when that is a task generated by your answers on a questionnaire assessment, so are the policies. Cynomi will automatically generate the policies live, and they are dynamic and relevant to each client according to the profile. First, we'll set all the policies in place in one place. You'll see the percentage coverage of them, the posture score, all the data is there. When you click on a policy, each policy has a name, a description, the purpose, the scope, the requirements, the definitions, and all the requirements are presented one by one over here. Now, why are they dynamic? If you answered yes, no, or partial, automatically we reflect that to the reality. And of course, you change it or fulfill the task. So for example, we see that this specific client on data backup has 6 requirements, but only 2 are green and good to go that he's fulfilled. The other 4, there's work to be done. What is needed? When you click, everything in the task with Cynomi takes you straight to the task, exactly what you need to do. Make sense? Now, all that is nice, but when a partner needs to really get a client ready for a framework, for compliance readiness, we have the full dedicated section of the compliance with a high-level overview and drill-down controls. So first, if you chose multiple frameworks, use the arrows or click them, and basically you'll see that you can navigate from each and every one of the frameworks you want. Now, earlier you mentioned ISO. I remember we talked about that, so I'll present that as well, but there's many frameworks. So first, choose a framework today. We'll show you the high-level overview. Where do we stand on the controls? How many controls are not implemented, partially implemented or not applicable? We show you the security domains over here. And let me generate a nice report that you'll see how reports look like. Of course, ISO is defined by security domains, control types, security properties. And let me show you how a report looks like. It will take this high-level overview, very simple and colorful. You, Mr. Client, are 52% ready. Very clean for executive levels to look at. And then it starts drilling one by one the status of each control for this specific account. not applicable, implemented, not implemented, partial implemented, deferred, and so on and so forth. Now, Garrett, you know what is very interesting here?
Right.
Of course, it's an end client report. My partners today use it internally. If they have a couple of team members working on the account, when they have an internal meeting, where are we standing on the controls for this client, and what is our plans? Which control are we going to focus next once for that specific account? So two great use cases of our report. Of course, end client facing, but in addition to that, of course, internally as well. But high level is nice. Now we need to get to the bits and bytes of the controls. And this is the magic of Cynomi. This is the most beautiful part, in my opinion. So we see that for this framework, we see all the controls, their name, their status. When I click on the arrow, I'll see that for this control, now I'm a sales guy, Garrett, I have no clue about each controls, okay? And I still can operate with Cynomi. I have two different tasks. Each task has a description. I can see the status, severity, and what policies are related to. I easily see there's no evidence attached and no evidence validation date, which is very important. We store, of course, all evidence, AWS-based Virginia, where as a vendor, ISO, SOC 2, the whole works. So, of course, data is not transferred out of US. All encryption security methods are there. But we can see that the latest version is shown over here. So if, for example, there's a client needs every quarter an evidence, and you see that you're already in Q2 evidence, add Q3 very simply. And of course, when I click on a task, I'll have a full walkthrough and guidance what I need to do. Very simple, correct? We don't stop here because there's many controls, Garrett, many frameworks. No one in the world can know all of them by heart, and they're always updating. And I'm not a CISO. I will go to get some help, some instructions and guidance with the eye icon. And this is the most valuable thing that we can provide solution providers that are not techie savvy, not full-blown CISOs. When I will look at the platform, I'll see the control type, security concept. I have a full description over here, but me personally, this is exactly what I'm looking. You can hear my accent, I'm a foreigner. I need very simple English wording, just one by one guide me what I need to do in order to adhere to this control. Everything needed is presented for me over here, and I'm good to go.
So what can I, if I need to present this to, say, my insurance company, you know, could you print off, hey, here are what could I print to give them the SOPs and just the reports and all the good stuff?
Great reports. One of them, it all depends what they want. So exactly what I did now, we have the compliance section report that I just showed earlier. Now I want to show the scanning reports. We ran scannings. We'll see the scannings, the finding. We see that we generated the task from a find. For example, we indicated on the scans that WAF, Web Application Firewall, is not implemented. I see which policy it's related to. When I click on it, I'll see that there's a task. When I'll get more insights, I'll see the vulnerabilities, a description, a recommendation, what I need to do. Here's the guidance, one by one, what I need to do to implement a WAF and how. And most important, I'll generate a great report that I can share as well. Hold on. Come on. It disappeared here. First of all, Mr. Client, this is your posture score. This is where you are within your industry. We found 64 different scanning, breakdown of them by the severity levels, and how many are informative, how many are need to be addressed. We'll show you the sources, all executives like pie charts, graphs. We'll break it down on a summary of them by security domains and severity levels of them. Then we'll break it down to a nice vulnerability table, and even summary by targets that we scanned, or CVEs, and if they're related, findings to a specific product as well, and of course the asset scans. One. To your question, the second and most important report that you'll send for the executive or cyber insurance readiness, we enable you first and foremost two options of it: high level of executive, or a report with the drill down controls, or by a PDF version or doc if you want basically to upload it or play, edit it, or copy paste it to your logo page, whatever you choose to do so. I'm going to take the high level report, and basically it's a very simple cybersecurity report that gives exactly the data we need. Give it a second. T-Mobile is sleeping a little bit today, Garrett, so we'll wait for them. Here we go. And this is a security report. Mr. Clients, this is your posture score. This is the last trend in this quarter. This is your readiness by 4 vectors of attack: data leakage, fraud, ransomware, website defacement. That spider web we talked about. See that visibility to understand. There's gaps, very easy and simple. The bottom line, Garrett, your score on each security domain: medium, green, red, very bad. Findings of your scans, just a high level. Then we'll break it down for a risk mitigation plan for you. How many tasks in the plan? Breakdown of severity level. Where you stand now, we're 41% ready. There's a lot to do. We'll break it down by your short, mid, and long-term plan. Show you the status of them. And of course, for each and every one, we'll show you your short-term plan by critical, high, medium, low, then your midterm plan, critical, high, medium, low, so on and so forth. The date, the task, who is it assigned to, you see if it's a repeating task or not, and many more.
I like that. I like that a lot. Because that's that kind of, because there's a lot going on here, right? And then this is exactly the kind of thing that, I, it's somebody, showing it to my clients. I definitely want to be able to do it, but it's that thing where, clients don't always understand what it is they're looking at, what you're trying to tell them. But a lot of them do. I think, as probably most people in this world will identify green, yellow, and red as the universal. You're good. You need to take it. Or we have a problem. So I like the way everything's laid out. Made this very easy. Almost for the client perspective, but for the tech perspective. One of the things that is interesting is the white labeling, or you were showing the roles. Is this something that you could just basically? I assume you could, because you can just give somebody a role. Like, say I have a client has an internal tech or the CIO or whoever. I can say, hey, here you go, it's yours. If you need help, then so you could just give them total control, and then you could assist them. So
yes, I wouldn't recommend that, because first of all, you're losing a lot of money of services and
yeah,
solutions that are sold in the market you can provide.
yeah,
Second, I can tell you that especially small mid accounts or end clients that are 3,000 employees and below, with all due respect, most of my partners today have more knowledge cybersecurity wise, and they're not full-blown CISOs than the end clients. They're more responsible. They see the holistic picture of the organization, and
yeah.
security is all tied together. And of course, the opportunity of selling more solutions. So when you do sell solutions that do it by yourself, it's an oversee. It's a lower premium, but still there is an ongoing engagement, an oversee, an assistance. It all managed end to end by the solution provider, the service provider. Yeah, it's not fully like a reseller type. No, most cases it won't work.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll just ask because
Come back very fast to the partner and add more services for sure.
yeah, it's um, scanning. How long does like an initial like external internal scan take?
So external scan usually takes up to 2-3 minutes. I was bored a little bit, so I did scan Facebook, BOA, other great
Yeah,
names, even Bill Gates and his company, and it took me 3.5 minutes to get that. Okay, it all depends on how many you put assets. Internal scan, it really defines by the end client's environment. If it's more distributed environment, more VLANs inside, how many switches, routers, laptops, can take between 15 to 40 minutes, depends how large the organization. But I would say 15 to 20, 25 in an average of accounts that are 250 employees to 50 employees, that range. The small mid that we're seeing. Yeah.
gotcha. So for the MSP who's looking at this, what so it's not just hourly. I mean, that's an awesome thing. You can show the hourly, but what is say I have a small MSP. Like, how does this work if I wanted to work with you guys, like pricing, or is there a program, or like what if you don't mind me asking, like
Yeah,
what's
sure, of course. I love that. I can even present that in a slide, but I'll talk in a high level if you want about that,
yeah,
basically. So we're very attractive on what we provide to our partners as the 1% channel. So partnering with us, we do have a basic entry package that it contains the following. It contains all the frameworks, unlimited scanning, unlimited users. It contains up to 6 continuous ongoing virtual CISO clients or accounts. It
yeah,
contains unlimited prospecting, basically a license with the same functionality that the partner can use up to 30 days free of charge, as many as they want, with all the functionalities there. So, or it can be used for what we call in the market today one-time assessment. And by the way, Garrett, one-time assessments are sold 3, 4, 5 grand and above. That's the average I see, free of charge, unlimited from our end, or for prospecting as well, to basically bait the clients to go to an ongoing service. After those 30 days, they can download it, all the reports, PDF files, CVS, Excel sheets, continue manually, or convert it automatically, zero downtime, to one of the continuous licenses. We contain unlimited scanning as well, an NFR for each client, dirty demo environment, dedicated resources and training we provide. And one of the most beautiful things that I helped a lot to initiate here is a huge marketing support kit. I'll be honest with you, partners today that I'm seeing are very good providing professional services in marketing, or it's not their biggest strength, or sometimes they don't have the budget. And here, Cynomi verifies that the partnership is successful. We provide a lot with our MDF funds to each partner. Dedicated resource such as SE and Partner Account Manager, partner portal with end client facing in a click of a button. We do webinars, LinkedIn campaigns, announcement, great tool LinkedIn. You're familiar with that. We're very
yeah,
strong account-based marketing activities as well. Blogs, lunch and learn, webinars, roundtables, a lot of initiative. We have a dedicated section to your website
yeah.
about vCISO. That Cynomi is not there. We're top of the hour, so I'll summarize that. A lot of activities, and it's an 18K annual deal. We have a ramp-up payment plan. So just even the 6 clients is less than $250 monthly, even that, but it has more value. And take in consideration that we streamline, automate 70% of the time. What is an hourly rate today? $150, $200? vCISO is 10 hours a month at least. I know, I know the pricing. Okay, talk on the low end. You'll easily see the math that partners that have a client or 2 are already profit in that basic entry package with us without other benefits. So yeah,
I
we're
like
super
that.
happy.
I love the MDF factor. Not a lot of partners familiar how to do it, things like that. But it's interesting. You guys are actually very loaded on that area, so very interesting. So um, we are at the top of the hour, and this has been awesome. I think what you guys are doing is this is a very nicely well-rounded, platform, service, and package. Just
Thank you.
what do you have any last sort of messages, like closing messages you would like to leave anybody watching or watching later on a recording?
Sure. So first of all, thank you, everyone. If you're any solution provider or service provider or partner today that is looking at the vCISO trend, offering today or thinking about offering, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to have a conversation, share with you some insight from other partners, even connect you to existing partners. See if basically our partner program is a fit for you. Reach out to us, www.cynomi.com. And appreciate you taking the time, Garrett. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you. Also, to add to that, just definitely check them out on channelprogram.com. Check the reviews out.
Yeah.
What other partners are saying, reviews from the trenches. People have actually been in it and used it, and so check it out. Either way, thank you everybody for joining for this week's demo days. And Royi, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank
Yeah,
you for having me.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Yeah, have a good one.
Bye bye.